Hi and welcome to everyone joining us for this pre-recorded show, which is recorded on Thursday for the Friday meeting, the 25th of August at Fairview on the Poly track, where the first race is due off at 12:40. The bipod kicks off in the first race and we go through to race number 8 at 16:45. Joining us on the line is the resident expert at Fairview, none other than Grant Paddock. How do we find you this morning, Grant?
Morning, Sheldon. Morning, punters. Yeah, all good. Decent weather down here for a change, and hopefully it holds out for the weekend as well.
Let's get straight into your bipod, which commences in race number 1. It's over 1,900 meters. And you've gone with numbers 1, 4, and 5. Looking at the betting, number 4, Ponderosa Pine, is at 3-1. Fiery Cliffs is 3-1, and More For Me at 33-10. So the Mitchley stable, they have numbers 1 and 4, a very strong hand in the opener.
Yeah, Mitchley yard, up and coming yard, seem to have the right horses in this race. More For Me. They've got Ponderosa Pine and Sassy. I've put all three in the bipods. I think they'll be prominent. Ballycotton's also a bit of a danger, and so too Fiery Cliffs. But it is a very, very shallow race, and hopefully one of the Mitchley horses can come home.
Talking about shallow races, as we move on to race number 2, and I think the betting says it all. Number 1 from the Cotton stable, the twice over is at 5-10. Number 2, Wolfram, is at 5-2. You can then get 7-1 and better the rest. The favourite, Luim Kotwa, rode last time out and was beaten as shorthead by Space Explorer. And when you look at the opposition that this son of twice over is taking on, should have them comfortably beat?
Yeah, Sheldon, this is definitely a race for Pier Night. There's no doubt. Very stiff last time. I just got bobbed a short head. His danger is probably Wolfram, man of defence, and then the horse that could improve, the 7-horse Smart Master. But Banker in the bipod, Banker in the place accumulator, be very tough to beat. If he doesn't win this, he's going to battle to win a race, that's for sure.
There you've heard it. Pier Night, number 1, twice over from the Cotton stable. And this is written by Luim Kotwa, a banker in all bets. As we swiftly move on to race number 3. Race number 3 is over 1,600 meters, where number 3, Launch Code, the Kelly Mitchley stable, seem to have a strong hand on the day. And this is currently at 2-1 with number 7, the Charioteer. US Open number 1, another runner from the Mitchley stable, is 7-2. So once again, Grant, the Mitchley stable, they're sending out some decent runners on the day.
Yeah, they got a very decent card, actually. They've had a very good season last season with 40 winners in their first season, and they've started off well as well. Got 2 decent runners in this race. This horse, Launch Code, a very good first run with Richard up. He needed the further. He's now got the further. He came to the course the other day and misbehaved badly, and if he behaves himself, I think he'll be a hard horse to beat. I know there's been a lot of money for a horse called the Charioteer, number 7. He's having a second run after a layoff, which is a concern, and a lot of outside support. And there's quite a bit of talk on the ground for this horse, Bob Lee Swagger. He ran a distance first time out. He's had a break for 4 months, and he's come back with a blinker strike. And there's a lot of talk for Bob Lee Swagger. So punters got to take that into consideration when the Smith and Kamala yard, when there's talk about those kind of horses. But I'm still very strong in the Launch Code department. I think he's a banker for me in the bipods and place accumulator. You might have to add in Bob Lee Swagger and the Charioteer in the pick 6, but I'm still sticking with Launch Code, yeah.
There we go. So Launch Code is the popular selection, but looking at the betting site, from 25-1 down 7 and 8-1. Number 5, Bob Lee Swagger, Blinkers, Kamalo, and that first run, too bad to be true. So keep a close eye on the money horse, number 6, Bob Lee Swagger. As we step into the territory of race number 4, this will be contested over 1,600 meters. As we said, we are racing on the Poly track. And looking at the fields for race number 4, number 8, Public Benefit, is the lukewarm favourite at 5-2. Number 1, Holly's View, is 9-2 with Idabel number 2. And then we go out 11-2 and better the rest of the runners. Looking at race number 4, Grant, over the 1600-meter trip. It's a novice plate. It's a number 8, Public Benefit, 1, Holly's View, and number 6, Keep the Fort. They seem to be the best weighted animals here.
Yeah, they do. It's a tricky kind of race, Sheldon. You know, there's a couple of horses coming out of maiden wins, but I must say the form line of Public Benefit stood up. She beat Global Avenue quite comfortably, and that came out and won a very good race last week. So the form line's there. She's working up an absolute storm at home. So draw a bit of a concern out at 9, there's no doubt about that, but Yeni's riding very well at the moment, and he'll have her up there, there's no doubt. Bocala won a very impressive maiden last time out, and so did Idabel. Then you have the horses that have raced outside of the maiden wins. Holly's View is a bit in and out, and then a horse like Defining Moment, a very good first run behind Colorama here, but she's having her second run after layoff, and that's always a concern for me. Tricky kind of a race. In my bipods I've went 1, 3, 4 and 8, and I think Public Benefit's got the class to win a race like this.
Now, number 5, Splash of Green. This is a horse that I've been following for an eternity, just keeping a close eye on this individual. And at around 10-1, after running third to State of Mind last time out, I suppose all in all has been a very disappointing animal. Was once upon a time a 90, races off a 62. Where do you put Splash of Green into the play, Grant?
Yeah, she's got to be there and thereabouts. I see there was a little bit of money for her as well for this run. She's been off 112 days. She hasn't quite. She's been there and thereabouts. Hasn't done any wonders. So Stallone riding. Maybe she's going to need that first run back after the break. I'm not 100% sure. But back end of quartets probably for me. I don't think she can worry those top ones yet.
Right, let's move on to race number 5, and this is the 4 Racing TV Classified Stakes over 1600 meters. So you once again got to start digging deep into the best weighted department, and there's not much separating numbers 1, 2, 7, 8 and 12, with 8 and 12 merrily at the top of the boards here. Looking at race number 5, Grant, they are betting 5-1 the field, and I think that tells the story.
Yeah, this is difficult, Sheldon. This really is a difficult race. You've got a horse like Pedro who's holding very decent form, and I've actually gone for Pedro to win this race, but it's a weak selection. It's a difficult race. Travel Master's got to be there with Fourie up. Unfortunately, bad draw. Last time also drawn badly, but he rode an absolutely world-class race to get him up. You got the 2 Jean Nel horses, Racing Quinn, very, very good first run here, but second run after off. And Saint Anastasia that got bobbed a short head last time out. From a good draw with Kendall up, but very tricky race. You're going to need a few horses. My bipods, I went 2, 5, 6 and 7. In the pick 6, you're going to have to add the 8, 12 and 13, there's no doubt. Very tricky race, and punters need to go wide here to get through.
That'll take us on to race number 6, and race 6 is set to jump at 15:35. This will be the next leg to negotiate over 1800 meters. Cherry Anu, number 5, that is your current 5-2 favourite. Number 6, Quasimodo is at 3-1. Number 1, Bush Tracker from 4-1 has shortened down 3-1. Looking at race number 6, number 5 is your banker as far as the bar pot goes. And if you go back about 5 runs, finish second to Bush Tracker. So there shouldn't be a lot to separate them.
Yeah, but this is a decent horse. He's an improving horse, Sheldon. I really like him very strong for Friday. He ran Grazing in the Grass to a head last time out. Grazing in the Grass is a top horse. I think he's won 12 in solid form, and that was no fluke run. He's holding solid form. Very hard horse to beat. The 6 horse Quasimodo, the original favourite, I feel he's going to need the run coming back from a layoff, and this is his first stepping stone towards the Algoa Cup in October. Rondact is always there and thereabouts. He might be held by the handicap at this stage of the game, and Bush Tracker, 62 kilos a concern, and also the 1800. I don't know if it might be a furlong too far for him, but I'm very, very strong on Cherry. I know banker in all bets for me.
There we go, Grant Paddock, very, very confident on number 5, and Samanga Kamalo for the Gavin Smith stable, super consistent, yet to miss the money, and a 4-time winner from the 8 runs to date, so a 50% strike rate when it comes to number 5, Cherry No. Taking us on to race number 7. This is over 1,200 meters, and bearing in mind it is on the poly track, so the draws do come into account as we get the betting for race number 7. Number 1, Cliff Top, who is drawn at 7, is currently at 16 to 10 from 2 to 1. Port Louis, number 2, is at 11 to 2, and then we have Transact at 7 to 1, Slim Yanni at 7 to 1. Let's start off with number 1, Cliff Top. He's got the decent form, and looking at the best weighted column, he's got a few points in hand.
Yeah, 6 points in fact, Sheldon. And I must say he's also working extremely well, this horse. I haven't really got this horse right, to be very honest with you. When I go for him, he gets beaten, and when I leave him alone, he comes home. Second run after rest, definitely a concern. This is a very tricky race. It's definitely the hardest race on the card. There's some quality horses. There's a horse called Gaelic Tribe who won a very, very good race last time out from off the pace. And the pace is going to be on here. Of that you can be 100% sure. And he'll be finishing off very strongly. But punters really need to go wide here. In the pick 6, I went 1, 2, 7 and 10, but you also need to add in 3, 4, 9 and 14. Very tricky race. A horse like Slim Yanni is an improver, but he's very well held at the weights by the top horse Cliff Top, but he's done nothing wrong. He knows where the winning post is, and he's really been improving with each and every run on the poly here. So very tricky race. Punters need to go wide. I have given a marginal first choice to Cliff Top.
Excellent. That'll take us on to race number 8, and race number 8 at the Fairview Poly track is due off at 16:45 over 1,300 meters. And let's just have a look at the anti-post betting, where number 10, Call Me Mr. Greenlight, is your value bet on the card. And here's a horse that when he decides to run, he can certainly win a race of this nature.
Yeah, I really enjoy this horse, Sheldon. He's going to be a massive runner tomorrow. Everything is in his favour. He's got the draw, he's got the jockey, he's got the distance now. That 5 furlong was too sharp for him last time out. He still finished in 23-1. The pace is going to be absolutely flying. There's no doubt. Global Force, I see there's been money for it. He only knows one way on the poly, and that's flat out. Clap of Thunder is probably the biggest danger. So off a fast pace, I think this horse will run them down. He's a solid value bet at 8 to 1, and I suggest the punters even have it each way on him. It's good value at 8 to 1. I've got a lot of time. His final workout was exceptional on Wednesday, and I think he's a massive runner, Sheldon.
Well, there we have it, the 8-race program from Fairview on the poly track. And Grant, we're going to bring up your suggested bets for the day. So if you can roll through those and let the punters know exactly which way you're going.
100%, Sheldon. My best bet on the day, race 6, number 5, Cherry Anu. My value bet, race 8, number 10, Call Me Mr. Greenlight. And then my suggested bet, which is the bipod, goes as follows. First leg, 1, 4 and 5, by Banker 1, by Banker 3, by 1, 3, 4 and 8, by 2, 5, 6 and 7, by Banker 5 for $48.
Well, there you have all the information on screen, the suggested bets from Grant Paddock for the Fairview Poly meeting. And as always, thanks very much, Grant, for being on the line, being our eyes, our ears down there in Fairview. And thanks very much for your time.
Thank you very much, Sheldon, and good luck to the punters tomorrow. Goodbye.
Thanks very much to Grant Paddock on the line when it comes to the Fairview Polytrack meeting. Keep a close eye on those suggested bets.